Hello, this is the fourth video in my series on how the body heals itself. My name is Robert Denton. For 35 years I was what is called a healer. The only problem was, although I was apparently very successful at it, I didn't think I was ever the healer. And I began to study medical science and neuroscience. I actually started to study the neuroscience to help me understand what stress and burnout was, since I'd been into burnout and my doctors didn't know anything about it, and it was really, I was on my own. It was up to me to get myself out of it, and it was pretty stressful. Although that's after burnout there was no stress, but it became, strangely enough, it became the understanding that by using my subconscious brain, which is what I discovered through studying burnout and neuroscience, when it came to understanding what I was doing as a healer, I got to realize that whatever I was doing, I wasn't healing the people who came to me for help. Somehow I was helping them to unlock their inner innate healing system, which somehow had been switched off. Now that seems a bit of a mouthful, but that's essentially what it boils down to. Now, other healers or alternative healers may think what they wish, but I resolved my conclusion to be precisely that whatever I was doing, I was helping or guiding those people who came to see me, who came as a last resort when their doctors had nothing else to offer them. And they were very often either in deep depression or cancer, and there were some amazing things that happened, and I don't claim responsibility for the cures at all, because I am convinced that these people healed themselves. Now, what happened, according to my research, according to my beliefs, is that I was, if anything, coaching their subconscious mind to unlock their innate healing system, which is incredibly powerful. It's the innate healing system is what keeps us alive, keeps us going, what activates and manages all the organs and glands and everything else in our body. They all work by an incredible intelligence, and every cell of our body, there's hundreds of billions of cells in our body, and every one of those cells, many of which can fit on the top on a pinhead. Every one of those cells has an incredible intelligence. And now modern science can actually look inside a cell and see what it looks like, and even see how it works, or they work. However, there is, talking about on this subject of blocking or switching off a healing system, it's not so bizarre as it may sound. But it's not switching the whole thing off, it's just switching individual pieces off, and we tend to do that through trauma, massive stress, shock. Maybe somebody in the family died, somebody close died, maybe a very, very special relationship broke up. Whatever it was, the person went through an amazing level of shock. And that is believed by medical science to be the cause of many ailments, and particularly things like cancer, maybe even a stroke, heart attack, because they cause an enormous shock internally, emotionally. Our emotional intelligence, which is sort of an overseer to so many things that our body and brain is capable of doing, this emotional intelligence, if it's put into shock, can lead to some really difficult things happening. There is one thing that I mentioned before, the senescence program. It's a program for all cells have it. It's a program that ensures the cell goes through its full life, division, senility and death stages. And if that senescence program is switched off, then the cell can start to produce abnormal cell development, and it does that very fast. And that's what can become a tumor, and in some cases that tumor can turn into a cancerous state. And what medical science is looking for desperately is a chemical or a basket of chemicals which can switch those cell senescence program back on again. And if they know if they can do that, they can stop a cancer in its tracks. Well, I don't profess to have done that, but I do profess to have somehow coached my patients into switching on again their senescence program. That may have been, in many cases, the situation where I had helped them to resolve the trauma, the emotional trauma they'd been through, without me even knowing about it. Because one thing I understood about being a so-called alternative healer was, do not interfere. I am not a doctor. I do not know what is going on inside their head, their brain, their minds, or their body, or their organs, or glands, or whatever. I don't know. I imagine most doctors would tell you that they don't know either. But I believe what I was doing was driven by this level of not wanting to interfere, but communicating with their subconscious and saying, look, I'm not going to interfere. You know, if anybody knows, the person's subconscious brain knew what the problem was, what it was caused by, and how to fix it. And I believe in the process of what I was doing, it was to relieve that pressure, take that stress off, let it understand, let the person's subconscious understand this was a time to let go, to switch on again whatever had been switched off. And that seems to have led to amazing things. And it ties in with medical science, what medical science knows. Tomorrow, medical science will know a lot more. And will say, well, yes, okay, what we knew before was more or less right, but we just didn't know enough about it. Now we know a lot more. Now we can do a lot more things. Medical science never stops evolving, and we should never stop trusting it. But we should always question it. And that can help to get the best results. So, the book I wrote is, will the real healer please stand up? And in this book I explain my theories, my experiences as an alternative healer. So I never liked the term, because I never believed that I healed anybody. I believe I just helped them to heal themselves. The book's available at Amazon.com. And anybody in Switzerland wishing to buy it won't be able to because of their government restrictions on internet buying. However, it is available directly from the Swiss publisher, and the email address is there, firsthousepress@gmail.com. So write to them, and it's possible to collect it in person or have it sent to your Swiss address. So that's it for now, and register if you will, or so that you are advised to the next video.